You want to get down? You want to get down? Okay. Okay. Do you have another? I need help. And I tell you what, I need help with my cat because he's always fighting. I had him up here just for a second and I looked down on his neck and he's got another hole in his fur. He is always fighting. So just to give you a little backstory, one day he just showed up on the porch, him and a larger cat. I assumed it was a mother cat. And then they would come, and then the mother cat stopped coming and the kitten kept coming, so I started feeding him. But he was an outdoor cat and he would show up every day and I started buying cat food and that kind of thing. And one day he came home, well, he came to the porch limping. He obviously bit into a fight and he was like, his little paw was all bit up and I could feel blood on it. So I got my husband to help me take him to the vet. And we took him to the vet and the vet said he'd been in a fight and that he had some scratches on his paw. And he also, at this particular time, he also had, I don't know, something on his ear or whatever. So the vet said he should be fine, but he gave him an antibiotic and we sent us home. Well, a few months later, he came, well, we had actually gone away to visit a college. My son was being the keynote speaker for a university, and so the family was all going down there. So my sister came over to stay with the cat while we were gone, and she was gonna feed him because at this point in time, he was used to coming to the porch and we would feed him 3 or 4 times a day. So he was used to getting food at our house, and I thought we can't just disappear for a weekend and he have no source of food. So when we got home, she said, I think something is wrong with him. And I got to looking at him. He was walking around all stiff. His nose was real hot. And I thought, I think you're right. So we took him to the vet. He had been in another fight. He had had an abscess on his shoulder. They had to shave all the fur around it. The abscess had popped. We had to give him an IV because he was dehydrated. They had to give him an IV. Give him antibiotics. We had to keep him in the house for a few days, which is very difficult to do with an outdoor cat. So, well, fast forward to about 6 weeks ago. Again, he's been an outdoor cat all this time, but we're still feeding him 3 or 4 times a day when the weather gets really cold, because we do live in Indiana. We we had a little hut on the porch that he could go in for shelter. And then we bought another, we had like a little cat bed in the garage, and we would let him into the garage at night so he would have shelter. Well, then one day the weather got really bad and the news said, if you got any pets, bring them in. It is too low to let them outside. And we were like below zero. It was like 5 or 6 below zero. So my husband said, I think we better bring him in the house. And we had hesitated to bring him in the house because my husband has allergies, he's allergic, and we really didn't want a cat, but we had a cat, the cat wanted us. So we let him in the house, and he's been in the house now for about 6 weeks. And we would let him outside. He still wanted to go outside quite a bit. We'd let him outside. He'd go outside, do his business, then he would come back in. Well, 2 things are going on right now. We look up, and there was poop on the carpet in the living room. And I'm like, what? So, and he had never done that before. And so I got that all cleaned up, let him back out into the garage, which is where we had the litter box, was out in the garage, and we would let him in and out, so that he could use that. So I thought, well, we better get another litter box and have one inside the house. We got a litter box and put it inside the house. He peed on the carpet in the dining room. Got that all cleaned up. Well, he would not, he tried to use, another thing. Then he had diarrhea. So he was having loose stools, and so when he pooped on the carpet in the living room, it was really, really soft. And then when he tried to go in this litter box that we had over here, it was half in the box and like half on the floor. So my husband put like this big cardboard pad underneath the litter box so that if it went outside the box, it would be on the cardboard. And it seemed like he was missing the box. So I said, okay, something's wrong here. Plus the stools were loose. Took him back to the vet. The vet said he had some kind of gastric inflammation, irritation. His stomach was upset, whatever. Gave us some medication for his stomach to kind of help settle it down for diarrhea, which the cat refused to take. I'd have to like pry his lips up and try to pull it on his gums. So I was only able to get about 3 doses down him. So his stools are still soft, but they're better. But I was just like, oh, what are we going to do? And I'm thinking, my husband's like, look, this cat gonna get put up for adoption if we can't figure this out. So hello, everybody that's on there. And it's hard for me to see who's there when I'm talking because unless I'm really close, I can't see the names. So yeah. So if anybody out there that knows about cats, let me know. We've been watching a lot of YouTube videos that talk about different things with the cats and cats with the litter box and why they're pooping outside the box and all of that. And they were saying, well, maybe the box isn't clean. Well, we cleaned the box out. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. We had gone away for the holiday. We were gone for a week. So we boarded him in like a kitty hotel, like a bed and breakfast for cats and dogs. He was at the kitty hotel for a week. When we brought him back home, he was just different. Just really restless, walking around, mewing quite a bit, wanting to get outside. So we're letting him outside as much as we could. So Miss Jamie says get 2 boxes with different types of litter and get an enzyme cleaner. So Jamie, thank you for that. Miss Jamie, thank you for that. So I said, let me just Google what's going on here because I thought this is just crazy. So I Googled about the litter boxes and it did mention some of that. So I said, let's go out to Petco and see what they've got because we've got to get another litter box. Now, we had gotten another litter box that we had over there, but when he would go in it, it's like he would miss the box. It would be half on the box and half on the floor. So I said, maybe we need a bigger box. So my husband is one to research things before you leave the door. He believes in letting your finger do the walking. So we looked up on Google or ChatGPT about cats and litter boxes, and it said the litter box should be 1.5 times the size of the cat. So we're thinking maybe the litter box isn't big enough. So we went out to Petco, and that was one of the things that they said was that we probably needed to have, number one, a bigger litter box. So we got another litter box. So now we got 2 litter boxes in the garage and 1 litter box in the house. But the new litter box, he wouldn't get in it. And when we got the new litter box, we got one that had higher size on it. So because when he would scratch up the litter, it was like coming out all over the floor. So we wanted to try to avoid that. So we got one with taller size. And we also got a mat. I had seen in one of the videos where this vet was talking about litter boxes. This particular home had like a litter mat that they had in front of the litter box. So my husband put down this cardboard pad underneath the box and we pulled the litter box a little bit further out from the wall. And then we got the litter pad that we put in front of that. He would not go in the new box. So I picked him up and put him in the new box. He jumped out. I put him in again. He jumped out. So I picked him up and I was talking to him. He nipped me on my hand and took off running like, I am not getting in that thing. So what I don't know, oh, I didn't tell you this part. So when we took him to the vet and the vet said he had like some kind of a gastric disorder, he was in his carrier, which, you know, cats hate the carrier. He was in his carrier because the waiting room was full that particular day. While me and my sister are sitting there waiting to be called back, we hear this loud. The cat had a blowout in the carrier. Now, you know, cats just don't do that. So he had a blowout in the carrier. So one of the vet techs came out, got him, cleaned him up, and then brought him back to us. And then we went back to see the doctor and, you know, we got the medicine and all that. Now, back to the litter box story. He would not get in the new litter box. And I didn't know if it was the mat in front of it. You know, we have a rubber mat. When you first unroll it, it has a little bit of an odor to it. So I would like show him show him the mat. I would scratch on it like this so he could see that he could kind of step on it. Because at first it looked like he was afraid to step on it. So let's see what people are saying. Have you checked for UTI? Oh, so Miss Janie, the new litter box was open, but it had higher sides. So I'm glad you said that because after he still wouldn't go in that litter box, and he would either go outside or he would well, he was just going outside. So we watched a couple more videos and it talked about the different kinds of boxes, some that were open, some that were closed, some with higher size. And it talked about if your cat was old, they might not like the higher size because they might have trouble getting in it. But I thought maybe the higher size makes him think about that cat carrier. Well, yesterday, finally, we saw him get in the new litter box. So I don't know if it took time enough for the odor of the mat to wear off, if he was inside and he needed to go. I don't know. But this litter box also was bigger. It was like 1.5 times bigger than the other one. And it said that the cat had to have room to turn around because my husband kept saying, what's the matter if it wasn't want his behind stay in the box or whatever? Well, I've been watching him and he turns around in the box, and then I guess in the smaller one he couldn't turn around enough and his behind stayed in there. But yes, so we got, oh, well, he has been drinking a lot of water. We have a fountain in the house, and he's been drinking lots of water. So I do see him doing that. And he was just at the vet, like I said. It hasn't even been 10 days, and he didn't think he had a urinary tract infection at the time, but he thought he did have that gastric or that stomach infection. So let's see. Somebody said they went to Tractor Supply and got a cement mixing tub. Works great. Also check into large under the bed boxes. Oh, well, this bigger one right now, he went in it today. It's kind of like when you're potty training a toddler. It's like, oh, he went in the potty. We're like, my husband's like, he's in the litter box. So he did get into the litter box today. So let's hope he can keep that going. Let's see what else. Male cats are more prone to UTIs. That I did not know. Yes, Miss Leona's on here. So yes, Archie is doing better. So he did go in the new litter box today. So let's just hope we can keep that streak going. His stools are not as soft as they were. They're still a little bit soft. And then I was trying to change his food up, not necessarily change his food because I didn't want to do that, but not give him quite as much, hoping if he didn't have quite as much, then maybe his stomach would settle down a little bit. So I did have him in here when I got ready to start, and I was holding him up, but he was kind of mewing, which let me know he wanted to get down. So yeah, he's a little better. Most times when kitties don't use a litter box, UTI or some other medical issue, he's not declawed. So scented litter, no, when we got this litter for this new litter box, I made a point to get unscented litter. I think when we bought the other litter box, it might have been scented. I mean, what did I know? I just figured if it was scented, it would kind of help mask some of the odor. But this new one is unscented. However, now that you say that, the rubber mat, though, you know, when you unroll a new yoga mat or you unroll a rubber mat, you can kind of smell the rubber. And I think maybe finally it's been unrolled long enough that the smell is starting to come out. But he's still been awfully quiet. Now, the doc did say if he doesn't seem to be getting any better, bring him back. We do have an appointment to have him neutered on the 26th, and I'm hoping we could wait till then. But he came home on Thursday, all beat up again. He wasn't limping, but his eye was swollen. He had like a little scratch on his eye. And right here at the top of his head, I could see where a tooth had like ripped out the fur right there. And then when I had him up here just now, I looked down and there's a little place at the back of his neck. I'm like, my goodness. Oh, and he's got a place right here on his cheek. And I'm like, you've been gone from the vet 2 days and now you got this already. So I'm half afraid to let him outside. But if I don't let him outside, he's standing by the door, he's whining, he's pacing back and forth. I'm like, Lord, help me. So thank you, Arctic Cat. Like I said, he did use the litter box today. and he's drinking water from his fountain. And I did get an unscented, no, it is not covered. It's not covered. It's against the wall. I think it's as out of the way as we can make it. Our bathroom that's downstairs is pretty small and it's real warm in there, so I didn't want to put it in there. I didn't want to put it in the kitchen, so we have it in the family room, but kind of like behind some furniture over in a corner. So we'll see. He seems to be, trying to get there. So he's used it twice. I've seen him in there twice. So, and then I cleaned it out because one of the videos said they won't use a dirty litter box. So I made sure to go ahead and clean it out. Yes, I do have meds for his stomach, but he didn't want to take it. So, I was able to get it down him. But, and since he's been back from that bed and breakfast, he's been a little bit more nippy and growling a little bit more. So I think he was unsettled from being there. So, yeah. Miss Leona says Archie knew which family to adopt. My husband was like, look, this cat gonna get put up for adoption if he doesn't figure this out. And no, Miss Jamie, he's not neutered yet. He has an appointment on January 26th. So we're going for that, and then he'll get it done then. And then the vet said that should help keep him home a little bit more, and hopefully that'll keep down the fighting. I don't know. But I tell you what, I'm like, this cat fighting every other day. So when he goes out, I'll be like, okay, now, no fighting. And I don't know where he goes. When he goes out, there's like a cat colony that's, I don't know, a few blocks away, like across the street, and then there's a field or something over there. There's a cat colony back there, and I think that's where he goes. And I think that's where he came from. That's how we got him. He runs around the neighborhood. There's a bunch of cats in the neighborhood that run around. And there's one we call the evil twin that looks just like him. Looks like it's a twin brother, but he fights him. Or he'll come over here and bully Archie. I've seen him, once me and Archie were sitting out on the porch, and all of a sudden I look up and the evil twin's coming from across the street, and the house across the street has some kind of a video camera that's triggered with movement, and it says you are on camera. And all of a sudden Kitty's head popped up and he was looking around, and the evil twin is coming from across that yard heading in our direction. He jumped off the porch, took off running around the back, and he was gone for a while. Because I was like, he's felt like I am not going to be dealing with this today. The evil twin has come over and sat underneath our car and just kind of looked at Archie if he's sitting on the porch. And a couple times he tried to get in our garage door and eat Archie's food. So hopefully he'll be better. I hope getting him fixed will help. I hope he's not telling them where to come. Then that's what my sister says. My sister says he's probably saying, oh yeah, y'all should come to the house where I'm at. I get food 4 times a day, and I get to come in the house now. And they bought me this little bed. Take me to the vet. My grandson said Archie's the only stray cat with a health plan. Well, yeah, he does have a health plan. And when he came home the other night, all beat up, and he had the eye all swollen and stuff, and I wanted to take him to the vet. My husband said, look, we are not taking this cat to the vet every time he gets into a fight, especially when he had like 2 fights, like back to back. So I'm like, okay. I says, well, could we take him tomorrow? I kept kind of pushing. He's like, no. He said, we'll see how he does in a couple days. So it seems to be better now. The eye is not as swollen. He's still got the little thing here on his face, but it seems to be drying up. I don't know. Well, I tell you what, Miss Jamie, I wouldn't say I was amazing. I always say I didn't want a cat. I did not want a cat. I felt like having the hubby to take care of was enough. But evidently the cat wanted us. And so now we have him. And my husband is as equally engaged with this cat as I am. So we both are really, really engaged with him now. I mean, like, he's my little kitty. And hubby was the one that would like buy the different little beds or different little toys and things. And he would fix up these little toys on like a little a pull toy on a fishing pole, and he would throw the pole out and have Kitty chase it and all that kind of thing. So we're both pretty engaged with the cat now, so he's not going to be adopted unless we don't get this pooping outside the box situation sorted out. So what I did was we put a barrier right in front of the door into the living room so he can't get in there. And then we put a barrier in the door from the kitchen into the dining room so we can't get in there, because the dining room and the living room are like right off each other. So he can only get in the entryway, downstairs bathroom, kitchen, and then into the family room. And then at night when we go to bed, we shut all the doors upstairs, and he can come upstairs. And what he'll do is he'll come upstairs and he'll lay on the floor in the hall, either outside the bedroom door, on the top step, or if there's a chair down here he likes to sit in, so he'll do that. Yeah, Arctic Cat says, cats choose you, you don't choose them. I guess so. Oh, some polymyxin B and use on his scratches. It's like Neosporin, but you can't use that. But polymyxin B is just, oh, okay. I can get some polymyxin. I can do that. When we had him at the vet, he had a scratch like from here up to his ear. And when he flipped the ear back, there was like a big scratch inside there. So the vet put some medication on it while we were there, but said he shouldn't need any antibiotics. So Kentucky Stephen is saying he could have a urinary tract infection. Well, how do I know? If he starts using the litter box, he's still drinking his water. He's still fairly quiet, but I'll have to see. I'm going to Google some of the signs and symptoms of a urinary tract infection because like I said, we've had him at the vet so much. My husband's like, look, we're not taking this cat to the vet again, no time soon. Positively perfect. Oh, that's cute. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for your suggestions. Oh, back to the litter box. Why he's using the litter box now. It just clicked with me. One of you guys asked if the litter box had a top on it. Well, it did not, but it did have high sides, which I'm thinking maybe reminded him of his crate, the cat carrier. So we took the high sides off. And so now it's, it's only about this tall now, whereas before it was more like this tall. So we took the high sides off, and yesterday and today just started using the litter box. So maybe that was it. So I think the smell from the rubber mat is starting to dissipate. The sides aren't so tall. Maybe he's just getting used to seeing it there. I don't know, but let's just hope he keeps using it. So I'll keep cleaning it out once a day, and hopefully he'll be fine. Yeah, let's see if anybody else has anything there. So I want to thank you guys for jumping on to offer me some suggestions. I'm going to call the vet tomorrow, and I'll remind them that his stools are better, but they're still a little bit soft. But I do have the medicine if he has like diarrhea again, which he's not had the diarrhea since, thank goodness. We did pick up some of that enzyme cleaner when we went to Petco. So in case he did have an accident, we could get that sorted out. And yeah. Oh, and Leona, thank you for saying happy Sunday. Yes, I appreciate that. And for those of you who are on me and Miss Leona, we're going to be doing our live show on Wednesday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. We are the Modern Home Economists, and we talk about homemaking stuff. And Miss Leona is going to be the host this week. So check us out if you're interested in that kind of content. So yeah. All right. Well, I think we've got it sorted out. I'm going to get the polymyxin B and put that on his scratches and on his little face and in his ear. And we'll see what happens. And hopefully he won't get in any more fights. I know when he has his neutering, he has to stay in the house for 3 days to a week. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Hazel, good to see you. So, all right. So thank you guys for your help. I appreciate it. I'll talk with you later. Bye. Thank you. The Modern Home Economist, 7:45 Wednesday. Yes. Thank you for putting that in there. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.